My sister stole our baby's name, so I made sure she'd never forget it. My wife and I have spent 4 years trying to get pregnant. My wife also has a younger half-sister that she has been low contact with. She was caught red-handed trying to steal my wife's jewelry box from our home. The woman is entitled and toxic, and also her mother's golden child. Her name was Destiny. We had nearly given up trying to conceive when it suddenly happened. We were ecstatic. After we found out we were having a boy, we started looking into names. I ended up suggesting the name of my Scottish grandfather, and my wife loved it. So, that was the name we settled on. Unfortunately, we made the mistake of posting about it on social media. Well, no surprise to the stereotype in this mess, Destiny happened to be pregnant too. She was months further along than my wife, and was also having a boy. For reasons I am still unsure of today, she decided to claim my grandfather's name for her own son. Not just the first name, but the middle name too. When we found out, we called her furious over what she was doing. She smugly told us there's nothing we can do about it. She was right, there was nothing we could do about it legally. It's not a crime to steal planned baby names. We realized that drama was exactly what my sister-in-law wanted. She thought that by taking the name for herself, we'd not be able to use it. I laughed and told her that while what she did was dirty and underhanded, we would still be keeping our chosen name. She could just deal with it whether she decides to go through with copying us or not. The next day, Destiny's baby daddy called me and said I was an unreasonable jerk for still wanting to use the name after they had claimed it. I told him they had claimed nothing. Since we couldn't own the name, neither could they. Before he ended the call he threatened me saying I'd be sorry if we didn't change the name. He hung up before I could respond. Months later, they had a healthy baby boy, and to no one's surprise, named it after my grandfather. We did not show up for the birth. Partially because of the pandemic, but mostly because we didn't want to. Destiny called us wanting congratulations, but we told her we simply didn't care. If she still insisted we change our baby's name, she would be disappointed because we were not going to change it. She then demanded I put my wife on the phone, but it was already on speaker and my wife was already listening. She fully agreed with my decision. We weren't changing the name. She hung up on us, but soon started sending emails with text walls of names. Even suggesting similar ones. I responded back that the name was from my grandfather, and that's why we were not changing it. She stopped sending emails, and we didn't hear from her again until after our own son was born. 2 months later we were blessed with our beautiful baby boy. He came out perfect, and we named him just as we'd intended. Lo and behold, the same day Destiny called us screaming that we had copied her son's name. I pointed out she was the real copycat since she had no familial ties to the name and we did. Anyone who looked at our family trees would see that. For months we were bombarded with messages and emails from my wife's side of the family. Half were on our side after finding out the whole story, the other half were not. Destiny's baby daddy did stay true to his word, and showed up at my door one day to make me sorry. I'm not sure what his plan was. I pretty much towered over him. I'm 6 feet 1 inch and well built from regular exercise and 3 trips to the gym a week. He on the other hand was very skinny, and about 5 feet 6 inches with a baby face that was poorly hidden by a slim beard. I told him my house had cameras, and to get off my property and never come back. He yelled a few obscenities at me then drove off in his beat up old car. Destiny and her mother called us from different numbers to yell at me for making her baby daddy feel emasculated. I didn't even threaten the man. I just told him to leave and not come back. If he didn't want to feel emasculated, he shouldn't have come banging on my door. Then they tried to bring up the issue of the baby name again and demanded we change our son's name as he's so young. So there's still plenty of time to do it. We held our ground and told them that they were crazy. Destiny didn't even name her son out of love, but out of spite just to try and stick it to my wife for no good reason. Then my wife called them both out on the way she was treated growing up, how Destiny and her mother had always been, and how she was glad to leave them far behind. She wants nothing from them, and they won't have anything from us. Destiny ended up crying, and we hung up the phone. A few days later, Destiny called us again to bitterly tell us we'd won. She and her baby daddy got in a huge fight and he had left. He was apparently very sore that she didn't let him give their son a middle name from his family. He also wanted his son to be named after him, not some guy he wasn't even related to. Destiny finally caved and they got the boy's birth certificate reissued with a completely new name. This cost her around $500. She tried demanding we compensate her for her name change, but we laughed and said this would have never happened if she hadn't stolen our baby name to begin with. We didn't owe her anything. Since then we've been no contact with Destiny and her mother for a while now. On the other hand, my wife's father comes around often to visit. He was divorced from her mother for obvious reasons, and loves his grandson very much. Some of our other relatives still try to guilt us into feeling bad for Destiny, but at this point we're so beyond caring. Not our monkeys, not our circus.